All right, Sunday night prep work. Coach Micheal Burt, how we doing tonight? Happy Easter, by the way. Happy Easter. There we go. Testing, make sure we're up and going. We're going to see who joins us tonight on Sunday night prep work with Coach Micheal Burt. And tonight I got a good topic for you guys. We're going to be talking about skills, not just skills that pay the bills, but what we're going to be talking about is we are going to be talking about how do you stimulate your own economy. How do you stimulate your own economy? If you're joining us tonight on Sunday night prep work, it's, 8:55, 9 p.m. on Sunday night. Coach Burt likes to come in and had a great day at church today. Happy Easter to everybody. Great day at church, and did some mental mapping today, guys. Okay, this is how I mental map the week and map everything out. So tonight we're going to be talking about how do you stimulate your own economy. I'm in a course right now with people who are in Monster Producer. That's my coaching program. We believe a monster producer is a legendary creature. I'm in a course right now called 10 Skills That Pay the Bills. And what we have to understand is that, Radley Vargas, what's up? What we have to understand is there is a direct proportion or direct correlation between how strong our skills are and how much money we earn, right? You don't make money, you earn money. And the way you earn money, Diva, is you go out into the world and you find, refine, develop, grow a skill. And that skill solves a problem for someone, or it helps someone with an ambition. But one thing I'm seeing, one trend I'm seeing, especially maybe with some of my friends, is they've only got one product to sell. And if you're not, right, if you only have one product to sell and that product is not selling for some reason, or there's a dip in that product, then you can't stimulate your own economy because you don't have anything else to offer. You don't, Brian White, you don't have anything else to sell. Okay, the insurance person's got one product to sell. If nobody's buying that product for whatever reason, then you're screwed. So when we talk about stimulating the economy, when I sit down on a Sunday and I map out all of these ways to stimulate an economy, what I'm really doing is I'm going, okay, what problem would people pay to solve? Where is there enough ambition that people would pay, and what am I uniquely qualified to solve? And then I start getting creative in how to stimulate an economy. Okay, I was sitting here tonight going through, and in the past 3 weeks, I have generated, or my company has generated, over 1,000 leads. And we've done that through, I've done a 4-week course on Pray Drive. That was $97. We generated over 100 leads there. I'm in a series every week with Andy Elliott, top sales trainer out of Phoenix, Arizona. We generated 600 leads there. I've got a group called the Premier Group, which is one of the top EXP teams in the country. I've got 12 of their leaders. We generated 46 leads there. I got a book club. I did 9-week book club for anybody that bought my book, Flip the Switch, right? And I generated over 150 leads there, close to 6,000 leads as well. Okay, I'm going to do a series called A Confident Mind. 4-week series. I'm going to try to get parents and kids and business people, because everybody's all freaked out in the mind. They're in the sewer cycle. That's negative thinking. I bet we can generate 150 leads there for me and for Success School in May. Okay, and I've got a program called What's Next, which is for high net worth people. I just did a 3-day challenge for that. We generated about 75 leads. All of those people had to earn over 150,000 to get in. So then I got Purpose to Profit. Just came off that. We've had over 150 people go through that. That program alone has generated probably 1,500 leads. And then the Greatness Factory leads. So when I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm asking myself, how do I stimulate my economy? How do you stimulate your economy? Is you You do exactly what stimulate means. You come up with creative ways. You come up with creative ways to stimulate. So let's just go to the dictionary and let's just look what that means. Stimulate. Stimulate, okay? Raise levels of psychological or nervous activity. Stimulate, right? Stimulate definition, because this is what I want you thinking this week. You are not defined by the government. You're not defined by other people. You're not defined by your past. You're not defined by your boss. You're not defined by, I hear people say this all the time, well, I had constraints on me, or I couldn't really do anything. There's not a boss in America. And by the way, I'm hiring people right now that is not looking for people who stimulate sales. Become resourceful. Think 2 steps ahead. Create. And yes, even work on freaking Easter. Listen, I went to church with my family. I spent the whole day with my family. They're all in the bed. They're all tired of hanging out with me for today. They're like, man, just go work. Go work, Dad. Okay, here's what stimulate means. Encourage interest or activity in a person or thing. Encourage development or increase activity, state or process. Okay, look at all this. Okay, what does stimulate mean? Look at all this. To excite, to activate or grow, or greater activity, animate, arouse, to function as a psychological stimulus, to affect by a stimulant. Now, the reason I always look up the meaning of a word is because it's like, okay, if you're out there and you're like, man, I'm not hitting my sales, because I'm hearing this a lot. It's like, man, we're having a terrible, Amanda Beaner, I'm hearing this, man, we're having Lee Simmons, man, we're having a bad sales month, or the economy's bad, or the government's bad, or that we're in a recession. Folks, I've coached through 3 recessions. And in a recession, it is true, you do have to get creative. In a recession, you do have to work harder. In a recession, but it's no different than when I was a basketball coach. When my teams weren't very good, we practiced more. So it's not like, when you're not hitting your sales numbers, and I was talking to Brandon Burks about this, and it's like, here's what some mortgage originators do. They just don't do anything. They literally just freeze, and they don't do anything. Now, that is the opposite of what I'm talking about here. Tommy Davidson went to Birmingham, Alabama with me last week to just look at real estate. We looked at a retreat site, Beth Manning. We looked at a potential greatness factory, although it doesn't have to be a greatness factory. It could be something else. I don't know until I go look at it. And what he saw me do is, man, the whole time on the way back, Kerry Herrick, I was doing FaceTimes. I was doing text messages. I was doing videos. And, man, we worked right up until the very end. And he's like, right up until the end of the day, we worked. And he's like, man, people just don't do this. They've lost their work ethic. They've lost their commitment. I did a whole series on this last week for Herbalife and the guys I coach at Herbalife on what work ethic is, which implies that you do things and you do them well. You have a high standard. There's things you're trying to do in the world. You show up, you grow up, and you deliver. You don't whine, you don't complain, you don't make excuses. So the word stimulate does not mean to plateau. It doesn't mean to sit and wait. It doesn't mean to hope leads come in. It means to stimulate. So what I just showed you is the way I stimulate leads is I start with big problems. Pastor Ken, I start with big problems. And I just saw Joseph on Tim Story's team. I didn't even put that one out, Joseph. That's a whole nother program. Because we're about to do Master the Stage again with Tim Story. Now, that's going to generate our webinar. I bet that generates at least 500 leads. Now, what I'm showing people here is the way I stimulate business is I was coached many years ago by a guy named Mark LeBlanc, who was incredibly good. And he taught me something I'll never forget, Joseph. He said, before you become known, famous means known, renowned, celebrated. He said, learn to position by concept. Create products and services that solve problems for people. Amazon doesn't have a sales team. See, they save all that money. They don't have a sales team. They just create products and services that other people want. And people go straight to the website and buy them. And they just keep creating products and services. And if you go back in the beginning, Belinda Erider and you watch the show on Bezos in the beginning, he created Amazon because people wanted books and they couldn't get books in the bookstores. That's ultimately why he created Amazon. Because online, Eric, you can buy a book of anything. So the way I stimulate my economy is I go back and I say, what does the word stimulate mean? And how do I stimulate? And I don't need an outside factor to do it. I'm going to do it. To excite, to activate, growth to a greater activity, animate, arouse, to function as a psychological stimulus. Can I run a sale? Can I run a BOGO? Can I run a 2-for-1? Can I run get you right? Can I just keep creating products and services? What does another word for stimulated mean? Excite, pique, provoke, quicken. These are common synonyms. Okay, so when you're thinking about to encourage something to grow, develop, or become, listen to this word, active. This whole word, look at that, look at the definition on this book. Activate. Active. I'm going to become active this week. So what I've done, guys, is I've created a selling system. And when I was a basketball coach, what I did is I tried to stimulate offense. I try to stimulate creativity in the players. I try to stimulate inspiration, motivation, activation. So when I started my business, I'm like, man, I got to stimulate this. And when you have low times or low seasons or bad economies or whatever goes on in the world, you know this, I never place my destiny in somebody else's hands. Because when I do, that destiny is in danger. If it's going to be, it's up to me. That's the way I think about it. So for you, I really want to encourage you this week. Learn to create concepts that solve problems for people, that people would be attracted to you so that you can solve the problem. Quit selling a commodity. Quit selling a product. Quit selling a service. Start selling an idea. Start selling a solution. Start selling a narrative. Start creating products and services. And if you have products and services that are not working, then pivot. And go and follow the money. Okay? Follow the money. Because money changes hands when problems are solved. The bigger the problem, the more money people pay to solve that problem. So when I'm sitting around doing my mental mapping on Sunday, I get very creative at church. And after church, and I come back, and what I do is I just draw it up like this. Okay? And what I do is I just sit there and study problems. And I ask myself, what problems am I uniquely qualified to solve? What problems do I want to solve? And this week, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen because I stimulate. That's how I stimulate my economy, guys. That's what I've been doing for years. I just keep going until I find a problem to solve. So that's the big message tonight. Every single week I'm doing things. Andy Elliott, top sales trainer, and I are doing a 4-week power hour. We got an event at the lodge. Nobody will be able to stimulate your sales like he and I. Trust me. May 12th and 13th. It's 2 days at the lodge. You really need to check that out. 2 days at the lodge with me and Andy Elliott, top sales trainer in the world. It's going to be incredible. Okay. And then I've got me and Tim Story are about to do Master the Stage. We got a webinar coming up this week called Master the Stage, which is the mechanics and science of being a great speaker. The connection, cadence, rhythm, eye contact. How do we come up with stories? How do we get on stages? Okay. That's going to be a webinar coming up this Wednesday. And, man, I'm going to keep coming up with stuff. I'm going to keep stimulating. I'm going to do everything I'm telling you to do, okay? So I believe everybody needs a coach in life. Follow me this week. Let's get some things up. Let's get some things going. Love you. Everybody needs a coach in life. Let's go crush it this week, guys.